What's good, everyone? This is Dr. Nee. I got an old friend, an old guest popping up on this episode. I got Dr. Brad Bellard. What's good, Dr. Brad? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you, Dr. Nee?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, it's always good to kind of revisit what you talk about. Your strength is coaching and getting people to perform at elite performance, as you like to call it.
That's right.
But listen, why don't you take a quick moment to introduce yourself to the audience, and then let's just take it from there.
Yeah. So, name is Dr. Brad Bellard, known as Dr. Brad, and I'm a mindset and performance coach for men. And what that means is for leaders and high achieving men, I help those individuals succeed at work, but simultaneously win in life without neglecting their faith and fulfillment. And so been doing that for the last several years. My career is in medicine as a sports medicine physician, but my calling is in what I do with coaching and speaking, man.
I like it. It's kind of like a little play on words. I like how you do that, man. So
I got that pastoral thing sometimes. You've been knowing me long enough, man. I got the alliterative thing going, man. Like it don't work until I start, running those P's together and those A's and all that stuff, man. So yeah.
But I like it though because this is what's needed. I think that I'm really been impressed with you starting your own podcast, right? Your podcast is called Elite Performance, right?
Yep.
A little bit of a play on words with the performance. Mm-hmm. I've seen way more of a visual improvement with social media. I see you more on LinkedIn. I see you more on Instagram as well as Facebook. And I'm just really psyched about what you're doing. But I think what I wanted to really focus on with you is there are a lot of people right now. This is the season, right? People are getting towards the holiday season. People are getting to the point where they start to do a lot of, well, what did I accomplish for the past year? Yeah. And, probably the majority of people will be like, well, 2021 went so fast. I don't know if I accomplished what I really wanted to get set done. So let's talk about how you work and why you work with certain people, how you're able to get them to that elite performance standpoint. And then let's get into specifically some of the things that you are really good at, which is helping people understand these are the 3 steps that you need to succeed at work. These are the 3 things that you need to do to win at life.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I got to give you credit, man, because, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have kicked off the podcast. I've been talking about it for a long time. Finally, you just kind of hit me in the head, was like, let's just get this thing going. And so I said, all right, man.
You were already podcasting, basically.
I was already doing it, right? But just kind of had to repurpose some of the content that I had, do it a little different. And because of you, man, I appreciate you helping me and really getting me pushed in the right direction to start the podcast, man. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anybody else who's interested, Docs Who Podcast. We got a 10-step to podcasting course, guys.
Listen, shameless plug for Dr. Nee. If you're trying to start a podcast, just get with him. Matter of fact, it's funny because I had a client the other day I was talking to, physician, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about doing something. I was like, man, just go listen to Docs Outside the Box.
Man, he ain't signed up yet, Dr. Brad. He ain't signed up yet.
That was like the other day. Just give him some time. Sometimes they got to see you a couple of times, man. They got to hear you a couple of times.
Well, let me just say this real quick. So everyone, before he gets into what he's doing now and how he can help you, I think one of the things that you guys got to consider too is Dr. Brad, when I say he was already doing it, he was extremely consistent with interviewing different people from different backgrounds on video on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And what we decided was listen, like he was trying to start a podcast and repurpose that content and put it in podcast form. And I was like, dude, like you already got a podcast. It's just that it's in video. You just have to look at what you do and just say, that is my podcast. Change the format just a little bit. And it doesn't feel like you're repurposing anything. It's just, this is just the audio version of what you do already.
Yeah. And I've got so much content. I was able to, I'm pulling content from, months ago for episodes that I'm posting now, man. So no, it was good. Again, if you're looking to get your voice out there, please talk to Dr. Nee. Stop fooling around and let's just get this thing done.
Thank you, Dr. Brad. You're my hype man. I love it.
So yeah, man, I developed a passion for performance. I've always been a pretty driven person, but really started getting laser focused several years ago because I was the dude who was driven, trying to make something happen, in my career, really wanting to be the guy in what I did in sports medicine. But I was really just performing well in one area of life. It was just career and business. But other things were dropping. Personal life was dropping. A lot of people call it balance. I don't know if balance is even, something that we can all achieve, but I was certainly out of whack.
I think it's one of those made up terms, balance.
Yeah. There's no such thing as like full on balance. As a matter of fact, if you look at anybody trying to like balance on a tightrope, there is no like equilibrium. There's constantly a little bit of give and go as they're walking.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
So that's kind of part of life, is that you always kind of giving and going a little bit so that you can balance. But things were way out of whack for me. And so my success had come at the cost of my faith, had come at the cost of my fulfillment. And I was like, look, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I wanted. And I was like, look, I'm going to figure out to live the life that I dream of, which is to be crazy successful, but to also be just immensely fulfilled every single day. And that's when I started working on myself more than I ever had. And so guys was just like, dude, how do you get so much done? How do you stay happy? How do you do all this stuff? And it really turned into me giving, great advice for guys. And that really kind of turned into coaching. So, we talk about performance, man. Like when I look at it, I think being able to achieve your goals to where it's not coming at the cost of the things that matter, that professionally you're getting it done, on a personal life you're getting it done, and you may be busy, but you're not missing out on anything, right? But life becomes very intentional and strategic. And so our level of performance is directly connected to our mindset. There's no question about this. Like our capacity to be able to be successful, but at the same time also be very, very fulfilled and peaceful, is directly connected to your level of mindset and belief. Like to me, performance and mindset go two and two. You cannot outperform the level of how you think. It's like a thermostat.
So the thing that you mentioned before, you mentioned intentionality, but the other thing that when you were talking, even before that, you were talking about performance, you were talking about handling multiple things.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hustle culture, no sleep, hashtag team no sleep, and so forth. So talk to me about that, because I think there's a lot of people who are like, well, look, I got to this point. I'm a high achiever. I am an engineer. I'm a physician. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer, whatever it may be. I got my Red Bull. And to heck with my relationships with other people and so forth.
That's right.
What's your advice to these people who they're going to work hard? They're going to do,
sure.
but what do you say to those people?
Oh man. So first of all, that was me, man. I mean, I was building my practice at a home-based business, and I was winning by any means necessary. And I was winning at a high level, making more money than I ever had a, growing practice, had a successful business, but I found myself successful in one area. And it cost me all the other stuff. My success had cost the family, the faith, the marriage, right? All that stuff was extremely rocky. And so I was outwardly successful, but I was secretly stuck in everything else. And I was just like, dude, okay, well, what is it worth being successful if it doesn't come with fulfillment? What is it worth? And in essence, what many of us do is that we're trying to succeed. Success becomes this thing that is like, if I can be successful, then I'll be fulfilled.
Right.
We're really all just looking for fulfillment, Dr. Nee. I mean, like, that's really what it comes down to. We are in this massive search and hunger to be fulfilled. And we think success is going to be the thing that actually fills the cup. But ironically, it doesn't. And so for those people, I say, listen, man, I'm all about being motivated. I'm all about being driven. But at what cost? Like, if it's coming at a cost of the things that really matter, then it's hard for me to call that success. It really is. So most of us have it backwards, man. Like, we're like, if I can succeed at something, then I'll be fulfilled. And real talk, what a lot of us as physicians do, we've had these aspirations to be a successful physician because underlying, we're trying to have ourselves feel better. It's like, man, if I could be successful, then I'll be fulfilled. If I could do well as a physician, then I'll be good.
Yeah,
and then when we do that, and we get there and it's just not as fulfilling, is because success can't be the form of fulfillment. I'm not saying success can't make you happy, and success certainly leads to happiness, but it can't be the primary form of fulfillment, right? We think that fulfillment is a byproduct of success, when really the goal is to be fulfilled first, and your fulfillment serves as a precursor to success.
I mean, you can get fulfillment even from failure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you can try something and be like, hey, I'm going to try it, and it doesn't work. You failed at it, but at least at the end of the day, you're like, I gave it a shot. Right.
But you got to kind of identify the things that matter for you. And you got to separate your success from fulfillment. I'm not saying don't be happy if for the wins in your life. But what I'm saying is, like, the thing that really fills your cup and keeps you fulfilled, you need to be, before you walk into any project, before you go kill it and whatever, it's really going to be better for you to be fulfilled in life, and that you're not dependent on a win to be fulfilled, but that you walk into this project saying, dude, I'm already straight, right? Well, there's been research that shows that fulfillment leading into work, fulfillment leading into entrepreneurship, fulfillment already coming in is actually a precursor to the success for the thing that you're going to go into. Most of us are dependent upon the success to be fulfilled. But imagine coming in being like, yo, like, I'm straight. Like, I'm straight. We don't put nearly as much weight on ourselves. We don't put nearly as much, pressure on ourselves to win. So because most of us are dependent on that success like a hit of a drug. It's like, yo, I need it in order to be. It's like, no. Imagine being able to walk in.
As I like to say, it's that narcotic, right? It's that narcotic that just keeps hitting over again. Well, let me ask you this question. How do you slow down so that you can get more done? Because I know you talk to some of your clients about that. How do you slow? What is that concept of? And specifically, tell us how we do that so that we can figure out what we need to do more.
Well, many of us just don't. When you start achieving at a high level, man, you will level out if you start doing more doing than thinking. Many of us are moving so fast, bro, that we don't stop to think about what is the next best step, right? We don't slow down long enough to really kind of evaluate the situation and figure out, like, what is the best next step for me to do right now? We moving so fast, #hustle, #grind. I'm doing all this stuff. We want the world to see all the stuff that we're doing. But the question is, are we doing the right thing? Right. So I talk about the difference between being effective and being efficient. Being efficient, you could be real efficient at something that is not productive. Right. I could be very efficient. I make the analogy of, like, if you're a salesperson, I could be real efficient at going door to door, but is going door to door really effective as getting on the phone and just making the calls? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So many of us, we might be efficient at doing something, but the question is, am I doing the right thing? And am I stopping long enough to try to figure out what's the best next step for me to take? Many of us, in essence, are running really fast, but we're not looking up enough to slow down to see if we're running in the wrong direction.
So how do you get?
So what's the point? So what's the point in running in the wrong direction? Well, oftentimes people get to the point to where they tired of bumping their head into the wall, and that's when they meet me.
Yeah, I got you.
It's either that, or people are like, what I'm doing's not working. Like, I'm working really hard, but I don't have a lot to show for it. Or I seem like I'm real busy every single day, but at the end of the day, I don't really have a whole lot to show for it, but I'm exhausted. I'm just working really hard. Well, that's it. That's probably ineffective and inefficient. So if we can stop long enough to start getting our thoughts together, there's a quote by Abraham Lincoln. He said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Bro, we don't sharpen the axe. So therefore, we swinging trying to chop down a tree with a bat, and we working really hard, but we can take time to just stop and think, like, how can I get this thing sharper so that I can work, smarter and not harder?
Okay. What's the number one issue you think some of your clients have because like I said, you have the, when you're working with your clients, you have the luxury, I guess, and tell me if I'm wrong or not, you're working with people who are very successful in that they're already determined. They're already consistent. They may or may not take coaching well, depending on who you're working with. Right. What's the number one issue that you notice with these people that you are, coaching?
A lot of them have kind of come to the end of themselves, meaning like they've been successful. They've had a certain level of success, but they're trying to figure out the back end of all the stuff that it costs them now. So it's like, but they don't want to give up the success. So here's what's crazy, man. We have been somehow trained to believe that we got to choose one or the other. I mean, think about it. We've been trained somehow to think, all right, well, I'm either going to be successful, but it's going to cost me all of this really kind of personal life and fulfillment, or I can be fulfilled and kind of dive in on my faith and be filled, but then I'm not going to be as successful. For some reason, we have this thought that we got to choose one or the other. And I'm here to tell you, man, no, you can have both. There's a way to have both, but there's a way to do it so that both can be had. And so for most of them, man, they are really open to try to figure out, like, I'm not fulfilled. There's some relationship stuff I have, but like, what can I do to continue to maintain a certain level of success, but also get it done? How can I get the professional life done and the personal life done? How can I be happy and fulfilled? And
what does fulfillment mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Oh man, my definition is being made whole. Mm-hmm. Meaning, like, there's not a lack. I don't like there is no lack. There is no need for me, right? Like, I'm literally made whole. It's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in need of something. I need this thing, or I just don't lack. It's like my cup is full.
It's interesting. I don't like to talk about this player because obviously him and the other people who died in the helicopter crash, may their spirits, remain in rest. But, when I was watching Kobe, because he's my age, right? We're all in the same age range, 1978, 79, 80. Yeah. I remember him being extremely competitive, right? Mm-hmm. Very competitive. And I remember there was a quote where someone asked him, like, friendships don't mean nothing, but banners last forever. And I'm like, I didn't like that. That rubbed me the wrong way, to me, honestly. Yeah. That rubbed me the wrong way. Kobe's always rubbed me the wrong way, but I've always respected his grind. Yeah. But then after, when he retired, and you see him like at the games with Gianna, smiling, happy. All of these new basketball players are saying, Kobe reached out to me and mentored me. All of these different, it just seemed, and then he's going on these other podcasts, and he got his Oscar, and he's creating all of these different things. For me, I felt like there was a shift. Like, this guy that I knew before he retired versus this guy that I see now, two different people, right? Yeah. I almost feel like he looked fulfilled at this point. He felt like he was full, and he was ready to give back all the knowledge, whether it's, to his daughters, to, fellow basketball players, obviously creating stuff. I just noticed that difference. I don't know if you ever, if I guess that's how I kind of look at between success and fulfillment almost, that kind of dichotomy almost.
Right. Well, we first of all, no, I noticed the same thing. And it's not uncommon, man, with a lot of guys who are so driven like that, that kind of on the back end, they start realizing, like, the banners were cool, or the trophies, or the awards, the accomplishments, the achievement. It was cool, but like, what did it cost me? For me, like I said, not spending time with the kids, me and my wife roommates, you know what I'm saying? And then relationships. I mean, there was one point I'd step all over you to get to where I got to get, because I got to get there, right? But when you're looking in the mirror, you're like, like this is not what I thought. It's hard for me to say that success without fulfillment is really success. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have all of what you went after monetarily or business or whatever the case may be, but you're alone and you don't really have you don't have much fulfillment, that's tough, man. That's tough. And relationships mean a whole lot. So when you can grow and develop to the point to where it's like, yeah, there's a way to get what I get done, but I do it in collaboration. I do it in relationship with people. I do it by building other people up. I do it because my cup is so full that now I can fill the cups of others. You realize that success really is based on a level of service to other people. That's all success is.
Yeah, say that again, man. Say that again.
Yeah, so success is really a level of service to others. So think about it this way. You got a company like Chick-fil-A. Kids love Chick-fil-A, man. By the way, it's crazy how quick I get through those long lines. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so
we got to do another episode on that, because me and Renee were driving by, and I'm like, it's like 8:00 at night, and there's still a long line at Chick-fil-A. Why? You know, it's just like.
But you get through that in like 3 minutes. But anyway, you know, they are more successful when they serve more chicken sandwiches. That's just it. When they serve more chicken sandwiches. And those chicken sandwiches are based on the level of quantity that they serve and the quality with which they serve those chicken sandwiches. Now, your business or your career.
Popeye's chicken sandwich, though.
Popeye's
chicken sandwich. Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Got some Popeye's fans that just said, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. We lost a couple listeners right there.
I didn't mean to put you on a tangent, but you know, you got to always throw in something funny. But go ahead.
It's all good. So, you know, the more patients we serve, the more successful we'll be. So, and the level of quality that we serve them, the more successful you'll be. And it'll be the same thing for your business. The same thing with your podcast. The more people you serve, the more successful you'll be. But here's the deal. Most of us are trying to serve with an empty plate and an empty cup. So it's like, imagine being fulfilled. You good. You ready to pour more into the people that need it, that are going to generate success. So that's why fulfillment is a precursor to success. That's why fulfillment is a precursor to peak performance. Most of us, we got it backwards. It's like, if I do well, then I'll be fulfilled. Nope, get fulfilled first, and then let's go destroy this thing.
So listen, give me real quick, give me your 3 steps to succeed at work and in life.
Yeah.
And win at life, excuse me.
Yeah. So I call it the Elite Men Performance Blueprint. And by the way, we're talking about, you know, what I work with is primarily as a coach is with high achieving men. But by the way, this message is for anybody. So for all the ladies, all the women who are listening, please, like, this is applicable to you as well, right? The message can help anybody, but who I work with specifically is primarily with men. But so our first step is it's really a fulfillment step. Step 1 is a fulfillment step, because I talk about fulfillment first, success second. So it's really strengthening your faith. And you know, I'm a man of faith. You've known that for a long time. So for me, I help people in that space really get fulfillment primarily through their faith. So now you fulfill, you're good, you're straight. It's on to the next step. Now let's really get down to what is going to be your performance mechanism, which is going to be your mindset, right? We cannot outperform how we think. You just can't. It's like a thermostat, bro. Like if you set the thermostat to 75, if it starts creeping up to 76, it's going to bring you back to 75. Your mind is the same way. So the only way to get to 80 is to set the mind to 80, right? But there's a way to do that. Otherwise, it's just going to keep bringing you back down. And you wonder, why can I not? Because we're trying to do all the things and we're not really working on the mind. Beliefs lead to behaviors. She's like, why can't I do the behaviors? Why come I'm not consistent? Because beliefs lead to behaviors. The beliefs aren't in place to lead to the behaviors that need to create results. So step 2 is mastering the mindset. And then once you got those 2 things in place, the things that we learned in steps 1 and 2 for fulfillment and success, we turn into habits. So it's really elevating your performance through habits that you can implement into your day to ensure that you're doing the behaviors that will lead to fulfillment, success, and the life that you really want and designed.
There it is. Dr. Brad, thank you so much for dropping those gems. So I just really want to say something real quick. So everybody who doesn't know, I actually got an opportunity to work with Dr. Brad for several months where he actually coached me. I was at a point in the podcast where I was kind of comfortable and not getting the results that I wanted to get. And he would sit there and help me craft, things from redoing the mission statement to who am I serving, to who am I podcasting for, who's my audience. And one of the smartest decisions that he doesn't know, but he helped me make, was unloading some of the decisions that I really shouldn't be making. And the smartest decision that I made was hiring Dr. Renee to help with the business management of the podcast. And then also you helped me craft what are the 3 M's of this podcast, which is money, mindset, and mission. So I can tell you right now from firsthand working with you, Dr. Brad, your system works. Anybody who's interested in working with Dr. Brad will give you full attention, will work with you, and will help you take you from one point to the next step. It's been great. Like literally the amount of change that I've seen with me being consistent, with me, advocating for my favorite listener, and even to making smarter decisions and finding fulfillment out of just podcasting in general. I have to point back to your inflection point. So thank you for that. Listen, Dr. Brad, tell people how they can find out about your podcast, how they can get in contact with you and learn more about you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the kind words, man. I appreciate it. Look, me and you just friends, bro. I mean, and it's going to be for a lifetime. You got to deal with me for a long time. But
you mean I got to be consistent that long?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm going to be checking up on you, man, just to see how you're doing. But yeah, man, they can find me on social media. I'm most active on LinkedIn, but I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and you can find me at Dr. Brad, MD, DRBRAD, MD. And yeah, you can go to my website. On my website, you'll find everything, my podcast, book, couple of resources that you can use to start helping you perform at a high level and have more faith and fulfillment. And yeah, man.